Ara ivarathana bhau samhata yatra nadhyah sayeshontascharate bahudha jayamanaha Om ityevam dhyayatamatmanam swastivah parayatamasa parastat Ara ivarathana bhau samhata yatra nadhyah sayeshontascharate bahudha jayamanaha Om ityevam dhyayata atmanam swastivah parayatamasa parastat Nadhyah, the nerves, where the nerves meet like the spokes in the hub of a chariot wheel. Rathanabhav, the hub of a chariot wheel. Araha means the spokes. Nadhyah means the nerves. So where the nerves meet like the spokes in a hub of a chariot wheel, he exists within and becomes the manifold. Jayamanaha, he becomes. Bahudha, manifold, he becomes the manifold. And then he gives an order, as it were. Meditate thus on Atman as Om. Om ityevam dhyayatamatmanam. Swastiva, I bless you. Paraya tamasah parastat, I bless you to cross that ignorance. I'm just giving you the Sanskrit words. You chant them, but you don't know what those words mean. But I'm just giving you an insight into what the original text means. Where the nerves meet like the spokes in the hub of a chariot wheel, he exists within and becomes the manifold. Bahudha jayamanaha. Meditate thus on Atman as Om. Om ityevam dhyayatamatmanam. Swastiva paraya tamasa parastad. Bless you in crossing over the tamas ignorance. Now the word nadhyah, even though it is translated as nerves, this is a literal translation. Nadhyah means nerves. But the philosophical meaning of nadhyah means the rays of consciousness. Nadhyah means the rays of consciousness. The rays of consciousness are unseen. But the difference is nadhyah, the nerves are seen. That's the only difference between nadhyah, which is translated as nerves. You see the nerves which meet like the spokes in a chariot wheel. So the nerves are seen, the rays of consciousness, which is a philosophical implication, is unseen. We don't see the rays of consciousness. So he's comparing, he's again giving another metaphor here, again aspects of comparison. Brahman is like the hub of a wheel. And the spokes that connect to the wheel of life, the various spokes which are the nerves, are called as the nadhyah. These are the rays of consciousness. It's like the sun. Just imagine the sunlight. From the sun comes the various rays of light, isn't it? The source is the sun. And then there is the rays of light. Similarly, there is the Brahman. And then there is the rays of consciousness. That consciousness, he says, he exists within, becoming this manifold. Where is that Brahman. He says it is within. He exists within. And how does it manifest? Its manifestation is manifold. Manifold means multifold, manyfold, in many, many ways. All that, Shivaji. Manifold, na manyfold. But the Atman or Brahman is only one within. But it has manifold expressions. It has many, many expressions. So the manifold expressions in technical term is known as conditioned consciousness. The pure consciousness is one. The manifold consciousness is the conditioned consciousness. Is aneka. Is like Brahman plus Shivaji's vasanas is Shivaji. Correct? Huh? Brahman with Gayatri Ma's vasana is Gayatri. Like that, we are all manifold expressions of that one Brahman within. Manifold is like the sun and the rays and its reflections. So there are three things. One is the sun, Brahman, then the rays, then the reflections. Wherever the rays fall, there's a reflection. In that sense, the rays of consciousness is Nadya. Now, the crux of the mantra, as far as I am concerned, is the second half of the verse. Yes, Setuji?
Guruji.
Yes, sir.
Fold word is technically often used in pipeline. See, when a large pipeline comes and it has to go distribute a number of pipelines, then a manifold is made where number of branches will go. So this it's very pipeline. It's a terminology in piping. So just.
But I didn't get involved in any piping, sir. So I don't know piping technology.
And this large pipe, say 10-inch diameter pipe come, but it has to go to different places. Then
I get you.
Affected by a manifold from which branches go. So
no, I get you. I get you. You're right. It's like a something which divides. Right. Got it. Correct. This is the engineer's perspective of a philosophical text. How a mechanical engineer, engineer chemical engineer. Chemical engineering interpreting what Upanishad are we in? Mundaka. So if Setuji were to write commentary on Mundaka Upanishad, it will be, I don't know what will be it will be a different perspective. So the manifold refers to the various expressions, the various individualities, the plurality. Now, the second half of the mantra, Om Ityevam Dhyayatam Atmanam. Meditate thus on Atman as Om. This mantra is an evolution of the previous mantra. What have you done in the previous mantra? Sarva dharman parityajya. You have not got into any other talk. You have not got into any other action that distracts you from the goal. All you have done is you have desisted from all other talk, means your actions have been single pointed. Your purpose has been very clear. Whether you're a mother or a father, whether you're a manager or a daughter, whether you're a whatever you are, whatever roles you are playing, you're only interested in Brahman, that Ananya Chinta has gotten. Sarva dharman parityajya. I've renounced all my dharmas. Mamekam sharanam vraja. I've referred this verse last week in the 18th chapter. This verse comes. So having done that, where do you reach? You reach a state where you have to meditate. In that point of meditation, what he's saying, meditate on Om to get to Atman. So the last thing that you do is to meditate. Before that, you try to do Sarva Dharma Parityajya. So you have to deal and handle with all other vasanas. Now, Om is an idol. An idol is only a prop to get to the ideal. An idol can be gross or subtle. The grossest of idol is earth. The subtlest of idol is sound, because only one sense organ can contact it. Only ear can hear sound. So since only one sense organ can contact sound, sound is the subtlest of idol. And of all sounds, Om is the subtlest of all sounds. I repeat, Om is an idol. An idol represents the ideal. Idol is not the ideal, it just represents the ideal. Om, an idol, can be gross or subtle. The grossest of idols is earth, because all sense organs can contact it. The subtlest of idol is sound, because only one sense organ can contact it, which is ear. Now, of all sounds you can produce, Om is the subtlest of all sounds. Now, why is Om the subtlest of all sounds? I tell you, it is like the subtlest of any scientific knowledge that you have in the world today. It is more scientific than that. It's as precise and as scientific. What is the reason why Om is the subtlest of all sounds? Arunama, any idea?
Hari Om Guruji. Yeah, Om
Yes,
is the subtlest of sounds, only because we can only hear it. It's only through one sense organ that we can hear it.
No, you can hear every other sound I'm making also, you can hear only one sense organ. Can you perceive sound through your eyes, through your skin, through your nose, through your tongue? No.
No.
Even the dog barking outside also, you can hear only through one sense organ. But then what is the difference between a dog barking and me talking and you chanting Om? There is a difference, no? Please don't say no difference. Thank you, Ma. There's
It
a
is
difference.
a sound.
No. Don't say it is just another sound. So, Guruji, there's no difference between you talking and dog barking. Don't say that, please. At least on air, please don't say that. Privately, you can tell me what you want. Now,
It
the
is a sound
question
of
is,
Brahman. Sorry.
indeed, that's why he says Om is used to, he says connect with Om, because it is that which takes you to Brahman or Atman. But my question is, why is Om sound the subtlest of all sounds you can produce? In fact, it is said even a mute can utter the word Om. Even a mute can utter the word Om. So it is a universal symbol. It is applicable to all religions. It's not Hinduism. Even in Islam, there is word Om in a different way. But they utter the word Om. Even a mute can speak Om. So just to make it very to the point, why is Om the subtlest of all sounds? I just don't, if I mention it, then this process of thinking doesn't happen. That's the only reason I'm just pausing here. Any idea, Ma?
I mean, I'm just connecting it to the process of chanting Om. Is that the reason? When you chant Om, and in that between the two Oms, there's a silence. So in that silence, you connect to the consciousness. So that silence comes in. The matra.
Between any chant, there is silence, isn't it?
Or can we say it is the known idol that connects it to the higher? No.
Okay, when you see Lord Ganesha behind me, do you see Lord Ganesha? What does it remind you of?
It reminds us of the higher divinity, the consciousness.
Okay, if I were to show you a picture of the Statue of Liberty, what do you reminds you?
Reminds you of the worldly things.
No, you are reminded, oh, Statue of Liberty is there in New York. Am I right?
Yeah.
There's an association of thought of New York. But when you see statue of Ganesha, do you think of anything else?
No.
You only think of, you think of God, but then you think of many things associated with Ganesha. Ganesha has a form with an elephant head. Then you think of the rat, and then you think of Mundaka and the Prasadam, and then you'll think of your childhood days, how many laddus I used to have, how my mother used to make. So when you think of Ganesha, where does your mind go? Your mind has gone to many things, isn't it?
Yes, Guruji.
And then, oh, this year Ganesha Puja is coming. Something all you'll think. Am I right?
Yes, Guruji.
So I've given you a cue. I've given everybody a cue. When you think of Ganesha, there are many other thoughts that crop up, right? Ramji, when you chant the mantra Om, what crops up?
I think nothing crops up because there's no meaning, there's no association of Om with anything else.
That is the point. That is the point. Arunama, that is the point. Why does Om considered the subtlest of all sounds is there is no association of thought. That's the crux. That's the key. Now, why should that be the last thing, sir, or the penultimate thing?
Because we say that we have to reach that state of thoughtlessness, or that is the ultimate goal, right? So this becomes the penultimate stage.
You see the logic, how it fits in? How fascinating. It's just fabulous just to even rationalize it and say how these great Maharshis, how these great men could conceive that. How could they put it such a, it has to come from the profundity of the experience. They have actually tread that path. They knew it. They experienced it. They are talking from that wisdom of that experience. Staggering, sir. It's just staggering. My hair stands on end as I say that. I tell you, I'm getting so excited just to even talk of something which, it's not something new to you, but that's the beauty of the text. Wonderful, sir. So whatever you're doing past 2-3 weeks, you continue, Ramji. You will say, I have not been studying at all.
Yeah, correct, sir.
Carry on, sir. That works for you, sir. Because
that
everybody is studying yet.
That improved my wisdom.
Absolutely. Leaps and bounds, sir. You're not the same person I knew before you went for that break or the trip.
Thank you, sir.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Now, in the pyramid of thoughts, the last stage is self-realization, which is a state of thoughtless state. Just one step short is meditation on Om which is a state of single thought. Now, qualifying it is no association of other thoughts. Correct, Ramji?
Yes, sir.
Now, as you come lower, 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 your vasanas or desires are gross. So from here, as you keep moving higher, from the grossest thought, you keep elevating to a subtler thought, to a point where there is no thought. So, but the verse or the mantra here, he's talking about meditating. The last stage here is so that there is no other association of thought. But sir, just to mention, the entire sadhana can be put it in this form. It is a thought replacing another thought. This is what you're doing in the entire journey. You're trying to replace a higher thought with a lower thought. You're trying to replace one desire with another desire. Now this carries on. This carries on where, oops. This carries on right from the gross till the end. Right through the journey, you're trying to replace one thought with the other. Right?
Yeah.
Then comes a point where you're only left with last thought. What do you do, sir? There is no other thought to replace that thought. Am I right, Ramji?
Yes, sir.
You're only left with, in the point of meditation, there's only, how many thoughts are there at the point of meditation?
Only single thought.
Single thought. Only one thought, right? Now, you have followed the principle of replacing a thought with a thought all through. Now, you want to reach a state of thoughtlessness. But you have last thought with you. What do you replace that last thought with? There's no other thought to replace with.
Yeah.
What do you do?
That's where you take that leap. You leave even Om, and then you have to become that.
No, that's well said. But what do you do? What does the sadhak do? He has done everything. It has come to that point where he has replaced all worldly thoughts, come to a point where he's only stuck with one thought of realization and using that Om to get to that state. What does he do? How does he replace with it? How does he take that leap? Okay, I ask you, sir, is it a familiar ground to you?
No.
It's an unfamiliar ground because all the while you had a choice to do that from this.
Correct.
Now you come to a point with only one thought, which is the Om. Now, what do you do with it? It's an unfamiliar ground. A sadhak, a seeker is actually, the seeker is actually helpless. He is totally helpless. And that's where you surrender to nature. Your total surrender. And you say, you're helpless, I can't do anything. And that's where put the translation, ma, please. Having told the student to meditate, that's where the Guru says, I bless you in crossing over the tamas. That is where you need the blessings of the Guru or the blessings of the Almighty or the totality. You don't know what it is, but you have to completely surrender. You're totally helpless. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. That's what even in the 18th mantra, 18th chapter, which we referred, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. I have done all of it. Ma Shuchaha, don't worry. Mamekam. I will, you come to me, then I give you Ma Shuchaha. Don't worry, I'll give you moksha, he says. So it is the Guru that has to help you thereafter. You can't do anything. Uddharet Atmanatmanam. Right throughout, you have been uplifting yourself by yourself. No Guru can help you in your spiritual journey. No, the Guru is there to point out. Often in the Shastras, the Guru is just a signpost. He just gives you a direction where to go. He can't travel for you. He can't put that effort for you. So you will have to strive and struggle to replace one thought with the other. He'll give you the best of thoughts, but you got to replace that with yourself. No Guru can do that for you. But come to the last point, the Guru has to remove the last thought. You can't do it. It's all poetic. The Guru has to remove. Means nature itself takes its course. You just surrender and you just try to. You put in. It's not that you okay. Now I'll relax. All the while I've been putting effort. So what I do while meditating, I'll sleep. Okay? It's not falling off. Half the people who meditate, they fall off to sleep. It is not sleeping. You are putting an effort there. But at that point, you say, I can't do much. So with your effort of chanting the mantra, there is nothing that you can do because you have reached that state where there is no association of any other thought. There's that last thought, you're left helpless. So this is where you need the blessing. So the Guru says, I bless you in crossing that. Is it not exactly the same way that we follow the process of taking a coconut and offering to the temple? You take a temple, and you go take a coconut to a temple. What form do you take? Ashama. In what form do you take a coconut to the temple?
With only the last tuft remaining.
Correct. But the coconut, when it comes off the tree, what form does it come?
It is covered, yeah, fully covered.
Fully covered. So what do? You remove the 90%, 95% of the coir, isn't it?
Coir, yeah.
The tightly knit coir. It's not easy to remove that.
It's
coir.
tough. Yeah, it is
Very
tough.
tough. Without the right tool and the right means, it's difficult to get rid of it. So the laborious process of removing the coir symbolizes?
It's dropping off vasanas and desires.
Getting rid of the bulk of your grossness of your vasanas.
And
which are tightly knit, not easy to get rid of them. So tightly knit that coir. So the 95% of the
covering, the outer layer of coconut.
The outer covering, the desires, which are tightly knit to the shell. So when you take that coconut only with a tuft, what does that symbolize?
Your ego. No,
you've removed all the coir, only left a tuft. Why are you think I can't remove the tuft? I have put an effort to remove all the thing.
The last of the desires.
The last desire in the context. The tuft symbolizes the last desire. You go with that to the temple. And what does a pujari do? Patak. Ever let it attack, kill him, he'll throw it out, and then he'll break the coconut, isn't it?
Then he'll break the.
So the pujari does that part of removing the last stuff. You don't do that.
True.
So the symbolic representation of the pujari removing the tuft is that state of helplessness where you can't do anything. And the moment you remove the tuft, what is seen?
There are those 3 eyes.
When you break the coconut, there are the three eyes. Am I right, Ma?
Yes, yes, Guruji.
That this symbolizes the third eye. It is the eye of wisdom. It is known as the Jnana Chakshu.
Gyan, Chakshu. Yeah.
So it is the Guru that plays the role in removing the tuft and awakening you to that new dimension. So you're looking at things from a third eye, a different eye, the eye of wisdom, which is nothing but you attain realization. And that is announced further with the breaking of the coconut. Remove the tuft, break the coconut, where the heart shell is broken, individuality is destroyed. All that is symbolized by the Guru saying, meditate on Atman as Om and I bless you. These two seemingly innocuous statements give us the entire gamut of spiritual sadhana. Entire gamut is captured here. That's the beauty of this language that they speak. It's so deeply implied. One thing is to know it. It is yet another thing to tread this path. Can you imagine? We're all there at that juncture, at that cross junction, where you are meditating and actually you get enlightenment after that. Oof. It's just staggering even to conceive what that state is. So you put in lifelong, aneka janma, you put in humongous effort, and at the last stage you're helpless. That is the irony of the whole, or the beauty of the whole, how the drama of realization is captured. This is the drama of realization. You know, even the bhajan that we sing, no, also conveys the same thing. No? I'm sure you all have heard this song before. Bada chit chor man mohan, mera chit chor jagan mohan. Ayodhya ke Sita Ram Vrindavan ke Radhe Sham. The song goes on like that. So the song in the title, it says, Bada Chitta Chor Manmohan. Chor, it says, you know. So the gopis used to, what the gopis used to do? Set the curd, set the milk into curd, get up early morning, churn the curd, sorry, extract the butter, the cream, preserve it in the pots of cold waters. And what Krishna used to do, chor, he used to go and steal it. I put in all the effort and he steals it. By doing that, he gave moksha to the gopis. Bada chitta chor manmohan, mera chitta chor jagan mohan. So even when you sing that bhajan, it should strike you. Oh, the fact that he stole the butter, he only gave you moksha. The fact that the great Guru Dronacharya took that thumb away from Ekalavya, he gave him moksha. The pujari who takes that tuft away announces you to that state of enlightenment, exposing the jnana chakshu. That is what is symbolized by the blessings of the Guru when he says, may you cross over that ignorance from us. This mantra is enough for this Janma, not for this just classroom. This Janma only is enough. That much sadhana is there in this mantra itself. And having spoken of it, you don't want to take any other mantra. You just have to leave it at this. Another comparison, another example we have often referred is the moon branch analogy. The Chandra Shakha Nyaya. Chandra Shakha Nyaya is the moon branch analogy. How you follow a particular tree, you take a particular branch, you come to the very end of the branch, you point towards those leaves at the end of the branch, and then you go beyond that branch. Right in the far distance in the sky, there's a small crescent of the moon. So you go through all this, and some point you go beyond it. There's a leap of faith that it gets you to that unknown, unseen crescent. So there are enough parables, examples, anecdotes, references to convey the profundity of this experience. Let's chant this mantra once and then we shall conclude. Okay. Try and chant, all of you try and chant in your own way, please. Yeah. Sing along with me, chant along with me. Ara iva rathana bhau samhata yatra nadhyah sayeshontascharate bahudha jayamanah Om ityevam dhyayatamatmanam swastivah parayatamasah parastat. Once more. Ara iva rathana bhau samhata yatra nadhyah sayeshontascharate bahudha jayamanah Om ityevam dhyayatamatmanam swastivah parayatamasah parastat. We'll conclude. We'll come back. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om